Greetings from the Palmarosa. It's Saturday, March 21st, 2020. We'll be meeting or gathering a little bit different today. We're under unusual circumstances, and we're trusting this is just a temporary thing because we really want to gather together as the body of Christ and spend time together in prayer and singing and the Word. But today we'll have to do it by video. And the outline is on the website. And, excuse me, I want to share my prayer for you from Psalm 33, 20 through 22. The psalmist says, "Our soul waits for the Lord. You are our help and our shield. Our heart is glad in you. We trust in your holy name. Let your steadfast love, O Lord, be upon us, even as we hope in you." And so that is my prayer for you, that your soul would wait for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. Our heart is glad in him, and I so desire that you would trust his holy name. His steadfast love, oh, we need it to be upon us, even as we hope in him. So in these days of uncertainty, the certain thing is, he is our hope, he is our shield. As we're bringing Joshua to a conclusion, I thought it was important to go back to chapter 1, especially considering the unique circumstances and the times that we're in. Joshua chapter 1, verse 1, "Now it came about after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, that the Lord spoke to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' servant, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, cross this Jordan, you and all this people, to the land which I am giving them, the sons of Israel. For every place on which the sole of your foot treads, I have given it to you, just as I spoke to Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, as far as the great sea toward the setting of the sun will be your territory. No man will be able to stand before you all the days of your life. Just as I have been with Moses, I will be with you. I will not fail you or forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you shall give this people possession of the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous. Be careful to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, so that you may have success wherever you go. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do all according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not tremble or be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. In reflection of what I've often called this passage is living in the land of new beginnings, or living in the land of new beginnings. In the unique circumstances we find as a people and a nation, we're going somewhere we've not gone before. All the way in Joshua 2. Joshua rose early in the morning, Joshua 3. Joshua rose early in the morning, and he and all the sons of Israel set out for Shittim and came to the Jordan. They lodged there before they crossed. And verse 3, when you see the Ark of the Covenant, the Lord your God, the Levitical priest carrying it, then you shall set out from this place to go after it. But notice, however, there shall be between you a distance of about 2,000 cubits by measure. Do not come near it, that you may know the way by which you shall go, for you have not passed this way before. And when I'm thinking in terms of this land that we're living in, this land of new beginnings, a land of readjustment as our world is changing around us moment by moment, I know that the book of Joshua is really about Jesus. Even though it's a historical narrative about God dealing with his people and taking into the promised land, it's a foreshadowing. It's telling us about the Messiah to come. And so if we were to say that in Joshua, Jesus is our leader who takes us into the promised land. In Joshua, Jesus is our leader who takes us into the promised land. Now, I think it's important that we have some kind of an understanding of the promised land. And the promised land is the place where God fulfills his promises. It's he who wins the victories, and it's he who gives the land to his children as a gift. But notice that because we've not gone this way before, our eyes are to be upon the Lord. And that can be one of those mysterious phrases we say, well, just, keep your eyes on the Lord. Now, what does it mean to keep your eyes on the Lord? A simple definition for you and I to understand on that would be he's spoken to us in his word, and we keep our eyes on him by focusing on who he is in the word. Now, all the way back to Joshua chapter 1. It was a time of transition. God was leading his people to the land, and they needed some words of encouragement and strength as they went ahead. And they were told, be strong and courageous, be careful to do according to all the law which Moses, my servant, commanded you. I've heard a lot about fear this past week, especially from people responding through social media and media. Just as they have said things like, well, don't fear. Don't panic, and those are good words. Don't fear and don't be panicked. Yet at the same time, the people, God's children, as they went into the land, lived in a dynamic tension. A tension of fearing God and a tension of being strong and courageous. It's important that we don't take the verses out of context, like just be strong and courageous and do whatever you want. The strength and courageousness is resting in God to be the victor, to be the one who fulfills his promises and the one who gives the land. He is our victor. He is our promise. He is our gift. So I would also want to note, let me show us here, in Psalm 33, which I've been looking at, and verses 18 and 19 stood out to me. Verse 18 says, behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear him. God knows what's going on. His eye is on those who fear him, on those who hope for his loving kindness. In the midst of a C-19 era, a world that we live in, not to be on one extreme or the other, but to be cautious, to be careful, yet at the same time not to be panicked, but yet to live in a godly fear. Behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear him. Godly fear is a good thing. It's good to fear God, realizing that we are his creation. He's the creator. He has made us. Behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear him, on those who hope for his loving kindness. We place our confidence, our trust in his faithfulness to keep his commitment, his hesed, his commitment to do what he says he will do. And he will do what he says he will do because of who he is. And he is faithful. And that's part of the whole theme of Joshua is that God is faithful. Notice also in verse 19 it says, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. In a time of transition, a time of new beginnings, a time in which we've not been anywhere before, we are to be strong. We are to be courageous, but our strength and our courage is in that God is the one who does this. Watch. God is the one who fulfills his promises. God wins the victories, and God gives the land as a gift to his children. That's where our strength and our courage is in. Our strength is in Jesus is our leader who fulfills the promises of God, who wins our victories and gives us the land as a gift. Now, at the same time, we are to realize the eye of the Lord is on those who have a healthy respect, but also have a godly fear, who fear him, the Creator, the one who made us, the one who has the power, the ability to give us life and death. And so we hope for his loving kindness. We hope that he will be true to his commitment, that he will deliver our soul from death and to keep us alive in famine. There's a balance. Strength and courage Because notice it says, be careful to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left. And Moses told the people, you're not going to be able to keep this. Joshua will later tell the people, you're not going to be able to keep this. The law, we're told later on in the New Testament, is our tutor, our guide. God himself is going to have to circumcise our heart and give us, rather than a heart of stone, a heart of flesh, to trust him and believe him like we should. So as we live in this land of new beginnings, we are to, or a time of transition, there is to be an eye on the Lord. We are to keep our eye on who he is and what he has done and what he has said. We're to know that Jesus is our promise. Jesus wins our victories. And Jesus gives the land to us as a gift because we are his children. And at the same time, we are to behold. We're to recognize. We're to know something. The eye of the Lord is on those who fear him. I want his eye on me. Of course, it always is. But within this special poetic sense, he who fears him, I want to live in that godly fear. He controls my destiny. He controls my future. He controls my now. I want to be one who hopes in his loving kindness, that he is faithful to keep his word. I do trust that he will deliver my soul from death, and he will keep me alive even in famine. So verse 20 will go on to say, my soul waits, or oh soul, our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. In all the buzz and the news media and the conferences and the things I've heard so much about we're a great nation and we're a great people, and we are blessed very much to live in this country that the Lord has given us. But our strength is not in ourselves. Our strength is not in our money. Our strength is not in our heritage. Our strength is not in anything other than it should be in God. He's blessed us. But our strength is not our blessings. Our strength is him. He is our blessing. And so my desire is that our soul would wait for him. He is our help and our shield. What will take this nation through this uncertainty times? What will take God's people through these uncertain times? He himself. He is our hope. He is our shield. And in that we shall rejoice. I will add some more to, later on I think we'll close out the remainder of the book of Joshua later, because I want to do some comparisons between Moses' farewell and between Joshua's farewell. But I think sufficient for today is that I want us to be mindful of this simple outline. In Joshua, Jesus is our leader who takes us into the promised land. It's a land, a place where God fulfills his promises. He keeps his promises. He wins the victories. He gives us the land. He's the one who does it. And so when the Lord tells Joshua, be strong and courageous, his strength, his courage is in the fact that it's God who fulfills his promises, both in the positive on us and both in the negative. He fulfills his promises. He wins the victories. He gives the land. Jesus is our leader. And in light of that, remember, we should live in a healthy fear, a godly fear. He is our deliverer. He wins our victories. He is a great God.